The never-ending quest to beat absolutely every game in existence. The great, the mediocre, and the completely unplayable. This is Backlog Buster. I'm playing Final Fantasy III for the very first time. I'm not sure I've even loaded up a ROM for 3, so this is a completely new experience, which is a true first for Backlog Buster. These silly little onion boys are getting named after my France. It's lore dating way back to me beating Final Fantasy I on my old channel. Well, that story immediately took a dark twist. Turns out the world's just about to come to an end. That's a problem I'm gonna have to solve in the future. For right now, I gotta find a way out of this hole. Can't do anything but plunder the chests and crush any resistance along the way. This is just the tutorial after all. Look at that, not a single ATB bar in sight. Final Fantasy III is back in true turn-based fashion. Honestly, I kinda just like a standard turn-based game these days. ATB really just encourages you to play as fast as possible. But when it's truly turn-based, you can smartly sit back and calculate your every move, even if that every move is just auto-battling with basic attacks. What good's a tutorial without a tutorial boss? Here comes the land turtle, or tortoise as I and everyone else likes to call them. I got no idea what I'm doing, so I whipped an Antarctic wind at him. Better not need that one later. Land turtle's toasted, and whoa, the crystal's talking to me? I'm the chosen one? What are the odds? The crystal immediately smacks me with the harshest reality of life. Jobs. It's the core NES set. White, black, and red mages, along with Monk and Warrior. Not a thief in sight, but who cares about him anyways? I've got no spells or gear, so I think it's time for some monkey business. I've made it out of that cave with a newfound destiny on my side. I return to I've got to have a chat with my foster father, Topapa. Surely foster mother, Tomama's around here somewhere. Feels kind of weird to run around town talking to people to get the deets, but I have no idea what I'm doing in this game. I found a casting of the cure spell after punching a bunch of goblins. Then I headed to the weapon shop, where it turns out every job can just dual wield in this game. I'll take twice as many pairs of nunchucks as I expected to buy, thank you. Adventure awaits. South it is into Kazoos. Gadzooks, the town's full of ghosts. Are you sure these people are ghosts? They just look like they're getting ready for breakfast. These pancaked family members are all telling me about evil djinns. Why would the genie of the lamp do this? I thought he was just a silly little guy who likes movie references. Turns out I need a mithril ring to beat the djinn. Gotta be one around here somewhere. Alright, well it's definitely not in the mithril mines. This one guy is just handing over his airship keys. Apparently he just buried it in the sand nearby for safety. And now it's mine forever. This is an unbelievably early airship, but I'm hard stuck inside this area. The obvious cave is obvious, so let's check out the castle first. Which is just more ghosts, so it really is off to that cave. Inside, I fought a single battle, only to realize that I have no spell cast, so it's back to for a free restore. Based entirely off of that interaction, I know what kind of game this is. I'm going to do a grind session immediately to snag some early levels. It just makes sense for a game with an NES pedigree. Afterwards, I stocked up on some potions and then headed for the sealed cave. I mean, it's not really sealed, is it? It's clearly just open to the public. Monk was the correct choice as I swing my double nunchucks all over the place, smashing every skeleton in my way. Whoa, what? There's a girl here? Oh, she's got the mithril ring. Alright, let's do this. Princess Sarah is just following me around clumsily as I make my way through the obvious path to the end to face off against the djinn. The ring didn't work. We're all gonna get flattened. Through my cave excursion, I'm actually almost tapped out of spells. It's 3 monks swinging nunchucks, and exactly 2 heals from my white mage and hoping for the best. Which was more than enough. Good old grindin', nothing beats that. I've beaten the djinn into submission, and then Sarah traps him in the phantom zone and then throws away the ring. That's the last anybody's gonna hear of that evil genie. The king is so chuffed with my success that he's giving me a canoe. Alright, seems a bit quaint for saving the town and castle, but okay. I wandered around the castle looking for more reasonable rewards for all of my troubles. I found the White Slayer, and all it took was killing the station guard nearby. Let's get out of here. Back in Kazoos! Gadzooks, I'm accosted by Sid. Yeah, your airship's completely out of reach now, buddy. That's all because Sarah teleported me out of the cave. Oh, that's why I was given the canoe. I get it now. It's so I can get back to the airship. But first, it's Taka. Everybody knows Taka. He retrofits a plow onto Sid's airship, even though it's all the way back at the cave. How'd he get there, put it on, and then come back so fast? With everyone unghosted, the Kazoo's shops are available, and that's some black magic and new mithril gear for me. I even got a little bit of revenge in the mithril mines. Then I paddled back to the airship and immediately destroyed it against that boulder. Easy come, easy go. But there's a new town. Oh, bye Sid. That scoundrel Dash went to Dragon's Peak? Let's go there, since it's my only potential destination. But I really don't like the looks of this, though. The monsters inside are already inflicting Petrify. These NES games really didn't pull any punches. The Arrow spell, and White Mage can actually use it? They really went and gave White Mage some offense after FF1, huh? Why did that all just dry up in 5? The Arrow line would have saved me a lot of grief. Except it really wouldn't have helped at all on Byblos, the one real problem area for White Mage. Speaking of problems, I've been dragon napped. Oh look, Desh was too. If there was ever a time to cheese it, it's right now. Most of the party made it out okay. Yeah, sure, Desh. This is the perfect place to sit down and have a little chat. You can come along in exchange for the mini spell. Sucker, you can call me a Janny, because I would have done it for free. Really great timing with that spell. I need Mini right now, since those gnomes won't let me just stomp around all over their town. I'm officially shrunk and inside the gnome village, Tozus. We got Kozus and Tozus. Tozus is filled to the brim with wizarding stuff. I think it's finally time I diversified my damage output. Punch has been really good so far, but tiny punches probably aren't going to work so well. They're out here calling him Sleepy Shelko, and he needs an antidote. I think I got one of those around here somewhere. I'm awarded with Sleepy Shelko's shortcut. I'm sure it's totally safe and definitely not full of monsters, right? Alright, fine. I'll job change to mages and go rest at the inn and then try again with some actual spellcasts. Real good thing I double backed because Sleepy Shelko is hiding some goods in the bookshelves. A fire staff and the Cura spell. The fire staff apparently just casts fire for free. It's equipable on White Mage and Red Mage, but not Black Mage. Did White Mage just instantly become a better damage dealer than Black Mage in Final Fantasy III? I cruised through the cave easily thanks to that fire staff. Now to become regular-sized again. Into Viking's Cove. Hang on, those are definitely the pirates from FF5. Oh look, there's a purple mage too, who has more casts of mini. I have a feeling that those mini segments are gonna be a bit annoying, so I'll outfit the entire team with it. The pirate captain's just given away his ship, the Enterprise. They wouldn't really just be using the same name again in FF4, would they? I found the super secret Viking Horde, a treasure trove of tier 2 spells. I can take the ship whenever I want, but I'd better avoid it for now if there truly is a Nepto dragon lurking nearby. Which means the only place I can go is north. And I need to be minied to get inside. Back to the inn, boys! We go in full magic caster and miniaturizing. After several job changes and rests at the inn because I didn't know exactly what I wanted, I'm entering via the eye hole. That one random battle was a good way to burn through most of my spell casts. Better be more conservative and spam the staff instead. Whoa, 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 that's one big rat. He's confusing a gem for some warpstone. Guy's clearly in the wrong universe. I'm not gonna hold back anything. Taste the tier 2 spells. And really anything that I've got available. Many men don't do any damage with melee, so it's magic or bust. The fire staff really helped out a lot. Otherwise, it was a pretty uneventful fight. I had to throw a few cures here and there, but it was mostly frying up that rat with burns and bolts. The Nepto Eye is mine, and it's time to return it to its rightful location. Oh wow, that just explains everything, thanks! A Fang of Water. Okay. What's this even for? Time to re-begin the party, but I'm out of spellcast, so it's back to the inn at the Viking Cave to rest, and restock on spells and items. Now I can use Mini to become big, then job change and rest again, to restock on more spellcasts. I sure hope that that's the last time I have to do that, he said, screaming internally. The captain said I could have it, so I'm taking the Enterprise, then sailing out of the inlet, and just like a little bit to the left. Damn, these guys are in total fear of my powers. The army of Argus is destroying the town of Tokul. I guess that explains why everyone's on edge. Ah, sweet, the Sanset Sukon. I'll make those Argus goons Sukon these new nunchucks. They're all in hiding, bunch of cowards. Oh right, that girl was asking about Dash. Let's bring him back home. And that wasn't it. Let's try Westward? Okay, surely this flying spaghetti monster in the desert is important. But I wandered around and nothing was happening. So I went north to Argus, where nobody's home. Where are these guys? I'm definitely working down the target by process of elimination here. Hang on, I recognize that tree hole. Minied up, I'm going in. The fairies are telling me that the Elder Tree was turned into a monstrous castle and it's wandering the desert. Lady, I wouldn't call that a castle, or a tree for that matter. Whoa, a shifting elemental weakness? This Hine guy sounds like a badass, I better not mess with him. Alright, back to Canaan, I guess, so I can unmini and restock my spells. What else is left? Back to the desert, I continued west to the village of the ancients. This town was a bust. It's time to head north. Ah, this has gotta be it. The Tower of Owen, full of cool frogs. Could this be the entrance? Turn into frogs? First mini and now I gotta find the frog spell. Through the process of elimination, there's literally only one place left to go. It's Golgan Gulch. These guys are all just a bunch of blind hermits. Hold on, they can see the future. My destiny awaits. What? Desh's destiny awaits at the Tower of Omen. Come on, man, I'm the warrior of light. There's the cool frog spell acquired. Interesting. Toad is white magic in this game. Kinda wonder why they swapped it to black magic in future games. I toted up and headed inside the tower. Hang on, why did we revert to human form for that little cutscene? I'm getting trounced in here, and I'm out of spellcast, so it's back to Canaan. I can tackle the tower, but I've decided that I want some levels. Those elemental staves in the village of ancients are looking pretty juicy too. I swapped back to monks and took all of the monsters outside the village of the ancients to Pound Town. Double your level, double your fun. After grinding, I bought a set of fire staves for the party, along with new armor and the teleport spell. With this set of elemental staves, those mini segments will be no longer a problem, surely. Inside town, I got some bombshells like we're on a floating continent that's powered by the Tower of Owen. Some old kook is just giving that information away for free. Better make sure that he's telling the truth on that one. But first, I headed back to Canaan to set up my jobs, toad the team, and then restore all of my spellcast by resting. Just gotta keep telling myself that this isn't an NES game. Finally, I'm going into the Tower of Owen to discover the secrets. These fire staves are really making this part easy, even as goofy frogs. Oh, a maiden's kiss. And then I am temporarily detoted to talk. Oh my god, could I have just detoted this whole time? I thought this was like those mini dungeons that lock you out of the beginning. That's definitely a game changer, but my strategy is going to remain the same. Spamming fire staves all the way to the top. You can silence me as much as you like, you can't stop the staff. These were a super good investment, by the way. Can recommend wholeheartedly. I roasted my way to the top with my staves, only to find a furnace, and she looks like she's up to no good. Medusa, she's red, so hopefully she doesn't absorb fire damage. The only thing I have is full team fire stabs in a dream, since everyone is silenced. Spamming fire stabs was really good, I just kinda won. Medusa ended up whiffing a huge amount of spells, so she just succumbed to the fire staff spam. Talk about good timing. I just found out this place is keeping the entire floating continent afloat, and it's just been sabotaged. Hang on, what? Who designed this thing? There isn't any way to fix the furnace without going inside? Well, nice knowing you, Desh. Anyways, Desh makes me gone from the tower. Then it turns out the geyser's gone now, so I can escape the Bay Area and get gone to the dwarf village. Lally-ho indeed, my friends. What's going on down here? Right, the ice horn. The ice horn stolen by Gutzkow. The left ice horn chosen specifically by Gutzkow. Gutzkow's ice horn. Master Dwarf Smith's never letting me down. I can get more of those spicy Sansetsukons across the board, so you know we back to monkeying around. Maybe just on half the party. I'm keeping one white mage and one red mage for specifically this reason. I gotta toad up again to go after Gutzkow in the subterranean lake. I've learned my lesson. Once I get through the hole, I'm untoading right away. Cheeky guys and their hidden pathways. I'm making my way through the subterranean lake with monk-based beatdowns and fire staving. Whoa, hang on, bad breath? This early in the game? Those ruinous waves earning their name by ruining my life. Luckily, I was able to cure it all. Now, Gutzkow, hand over that ice horn. Listen, buddy, snakes are not a substitute for pants. My strategy is set in stone. If it ain't broke, I ain't gonna fix it. Oh man, Gutzkow tried to full party mini-me? That would've sucked. Good thing I completely whiffed. A Fyra from Gutzkow is scary enough for me to stop and throw down a Cura, but Gutzkow falls to my onslaught a couple of turns later. The stolen ice horn is unstolen. Alright, let's skedaddle, boys. Instantly teleporting back to the dwarf village. Hang on, how'd Gutzkow beat me back here if I use teleport? You got me. By all accounts, it doesn't make sense. Gutzkow was just pretending to be weak to get both the ice horn so he could get to the fire crystal. Wait a second, I want to get to that fire crystal too. This was all according to Keikaku. Keikaku means plan, by the way. But then I realized that I'm using fire staves, which probably aren't going to do so hot in the magma caverns. So I left, then sailed all the way back to the Ancients' village to buy some ice staves. Even though they sell them in the dwarf village. It's my first time playing, okay? Give me a break. The souk on stick and ice staves made this a pretty painless dungeon crawl. The stick was definitely way stronger. Gutzko, stop! Damn, he really hit me with a nothing personnel, kiddo. Looks like this is Gutzko's new groove. He's job changed into a lizard. Give him the stick. The beatdown begins, along with tier 2 spells from the red mage. Oh look, party-wide damage every single turn. Why do I have a feeling that this is about as deep as the game is going to get mechanically? Good thing I've brought along a single white mage to use Cura. Belching Behemoth bonked. Gutzko's definitely dead now, right? The fire crystal speaks to me about my great big destiny. Then I get some new jobs. Ranger, Thief, Knight, and Scholar. Who would want to play as a nerd? Not particularly impressed with that crystal set, honestly. I'm gonna stick with my current jobs. If it ain't broke, I'm just gonna keep grugging it. Better return those ice horns to my dwarven buddies. Whoa, hang on, this guy's from Tokul? The place I tried to liberate like an hour ago? The magical master Hine can change his elemental weakness. A scholar should be able to see through his tricks. Oh, come on, I actually have to play as a nerd? And he's gone. Rest in peace, nameless Tokul man. These dwarves hated Gutzko, and they're all glad he's dead, so they're rewarding me with all of their fabulous secret treasures. Which is almost entirely scholar gear. Please, stop trying to make Scholar happen. It's never gonna happen. It's finally time to liberate Tokul, but let's check out the rest of the map first. Gishel's got the goods with loads of powerful magic. Give me even more minis and toads. And Break and Blizzaga, sign me up. But I actually don't have enough spellcast to use them unless I actually want to use a black mage. Regardless, I'm more powerful than ever. Argus army, I've come back. Oh, wait, hang on, why can't I move? That's not fair. I've been abducted and put aboard Hine's moving castle. Fine. I will make one character a scholar. Turns out this is all just a big misunderstanding. The Argus army aren't really the bad guys. Hine's just evil and took over somehow. I'm sure that the people of Tokul will forgive you. This random guard spent all of his energy tunneling out of this cell using a spoon. He even had the mini spell prepped. He was just too tuckered out to escape. But I'm not. Let's go. Cell status escaped. Back to big. Might as well fight and pillage for what these guys did to Tokul village. Oh, neat. I guess Scholar is just like a proto-chemist with double strength items. But its real use is using Peep on Hine. Was Hine always a skeleton? How did King Argus even trust this guy? I have studied Hine and determined that he has no weaknesses. Okay, punch it is. After a few rounds, Hine barrier shifted. Ice heals him, but the stick still works? Does stick always just work? Is the secret to beating Hine just ignoring the only boss mechanic that I've actually seen and just punching him in the face? I will continue to check, and this time he's weak to fire. My white mage swapped to the fire staff. Only for Hine to barrier shift immediately. You know what, fine, just beat him to death, boys. White mage is on cure duty. The scholar can just sit there and study. What a nerd, man. To be brutally honest, I turned on auto battle and walked away at this point, and by the time I got back, I won. Hine's bones are all shattered and he suffers final death. That awakens the Elder Tree. Oh my god, he can talk! The Elder Tree hands over the Fang of Wind, tells everyone to leave him alone for 1,000 years and leaves. Based. The Elder Tree really meant it too, you just can't go back into that forest. But there is definitely a secret hidden over here, I just can't figure out how to get there yet. I've made my triumphant return to Argus to get the Wheel of Time from the king. Yeah, sure, okay, fine. I plundered the rest of Argus's treasures except there's some locked doors. Where's Final Fantasy I's mystic key when you need it? Whatever, I ain't coming back, chief. I returned to Canaan and gave Cid the Wheel of Time just like I was told to. My sailing ship is now a /airship. The world's finally opened up. And oh boy, did it ever! The floating island was just a tiny fraction of the game. But the real world's been hit with a flood of biblical proportions. There's only 3 places I can check. It's definitely not that one. This one looks promising, but it's a dead end. Better find this Arya lady. But the world's huge, she could be anywhere. Even the only place left to check, some random guy's ship. I found her. Arya, the designated water shard toucher. Shard status touched, and now to restore the water crystal with some super glue. The door is here to prevent outsiders from entering, but not monsters, right? Why would this place be monster free? I'm able to kill fast, but so do all of these monsters. I'm definitely feeling the pressures of this brave new world. Regardless, I've made it to the water crystal. Just go ahead and stick that shard in there and let's suck this ocean back into the crystal. What? Secret poison dart attack into a boss battle? These games really are using all of the same story beats. The Kraken hits pretty hard, but not hard enough to worry about. The standard Sukon stick beatdown along with my Fire Staff and Thundara works him down. Eventually the White Mage had to stop and heal, but that's just his job anyways. Alright Arya, just walk it off. It's only a poison dart. Arya. The ocean got sucked up and 3 days later I'm found in a new town. But how did these people all survive that flood? Oh, of course, they were all turned to stone, but that doesn't explain why there's not like colossal water damage everywhere. What do you mean Goldor chained up my ship? Why would Goldor do this? But first, let's celebrate my new jobs with a dance number. All 7 of them. Geomancer, Dragoon, Viking, Black Belt, Dark Knight, Evoker, and Bard. Monkeying around has proven effective, and Black Belt is clearly just the upgraded version, so yeah, that's the one for me. I'll keep my mages in reserve. There's new armor and new claws for my Black Belts, Yang style. Yeah, why did Final Fantasy V remove claws? They're in 3 and 4, but not 5? It makes no sense, buddy. I met up with the town's key custodian, Gil. Clearly the most important position to have in this town. Apparently I need some shoes to face off against Goldor, so I need to get into the sewer. Yeah, Gil, I'm totally capable. We're the Warriors of Light after all. These silly fellas think they're the Warriors of Light? Clearly, they are the impostor. Somehow they already beat me inside. Once again, by all accounts, it just doesn't make sense. Black belts have boost and kick, so those level 1 goblins are getting the business. Ki-yaw! That one kick was enough to prove myself. Go home, fellas. I got this one. Only they didn't, which is good, because apparently this cheeky witch is making counterfeit trapped shoes. Why would Delilah do this? It makes no sense. I've had enough comic relief. I'm a serious gamer with a serious desire for EXP and gold. I use the Leva shoes to cross the swamp and enter Goldor's manor. There's just endless chests full of gold swords and 1 wyvern claw or something. Why's that one in there? The most obvious path was clearly not the way to Goldor. And I actually don't know how to open these doors. Clearly I need to use an item to get inside, but I don't have any keys on me. Seriously, where is that mystic key? I fought around Goldor Manor while thinking of a solution. Using my giant brain, I figured it out. By looking it up online. Okay, this is the one time I got hard stuck in 3. Okay, I had to look it up. I need magic keys, which I can buy in Gishel, but I can't exactly go back there since my ship's chained up. Alternatively, I can just job change to Thief. Imagine Thief actually being useful. It's pretty obnoxious to job change to a Thief, open a single door, then job change back, but you know, that's just NES things. I fought my way to Goldor guarding a suspiciously colored crystal. A fight ensues. Black belts are boasting and beating down Goldor. My white mage was still here, healing whatever paltry damage comes out. Doesn't Goldor know gold's soft and makes terrible weapons and armor? He's gotta know that, but he's sticking with his aesthetic, and I respect that. What I don't respect is being a sore loser and crushing my crystal. It's shattered into 1 million pieces. Ugh, this is gonna take forever to put back together. So I'm not going to. I'll instead just leave on my now unchained airship. Looks like that's the lower right continent done, so upper right it is. What are these statues all about? Okay, thank God that wasn't an instant game over. This battle was an instant game over though. Clearly not supposed to go that way yet. So the search continues in a town exclusively for geomancers and bards. Duster, more like loser. But the bards had some decent info, like avoiding the south continent, so north it is. What's going on over here? They just shut down my airship, what? Easy come, easy go with all of these airships, man. I suppose as the Warriors of Light, I must solve this Saronian civil war. Saronia is made up of 4 districts, let's just work through all of them systematically. Southeastern Saronia has the Dragon Spire, which I climbed while quelling all resistance. Ooh, free gear for Dragooners. That's probably a not-so-subtle hint that I should use Dragoons. And here's an explicit hint. Only a Dragoon can defeat the avian monster Garuda. We'll see about that one. Southwestern Saronia has a tavern. I could be enticed to whet my whistle. I've walked into a scene from an 80s movie. Goldor's leftover goons are punched right in their golden balls. Turns out this kid's the exiled Prince of Saronia. He sure didn't get far. Was he exiled like 5 minutes ago? Obviously, Prince Alice is the key to peace, so I abandoned the district discovery detour and I went straight to the castle. A meeting with the king has been scheduled for tomorrow. I will welcome a chance to captain the SS Snooze cruiser. Oh, looks like the king could fit us in early. Hang on, he's got a knife! Minister Gigametz has entered the room. The king turned the knife on himself? That's metal, dude. Minister Gigametz is a betrayer? News to me, I just met the guy. But this is exactly like Minister Gelwan. If you're a minister with a name starting with G, I think you're just guilty by default at this point. Only dragoons can defeat Garuda. Echoes in my mind. But I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing. I'm black belt boosting, and the white mage is healing. But the white mage is slightly too fast to negate the 370 damage physical. This Garuda guy doesn't seem too tough. I got a round of attacks in, and then Garuda slugged the bottom black belt for over 500 damage, which my white mage promptly healed. The same deal on the next turn. I mean, am I missing something in this fight? Oh, there it is. Party-wide damage with lightning. I can see this being a problem if he chooses to spam it. So of course he does. My single white mage just can't keep up with the healing. 2 of my black belts fell, and my white mage ran out of spell casts. I've completely and utterly lost to Garuda. I kinda knew from osmosis about the notorious Garuda in Final Fantasy III though. So here we are, boys. Full party Dragooners. But before we do a rematch, we better check out the North districts of Saronia. Oh, the weapon shop is the only one that's open, and I can actually buy spears. Really shoving it down your throat to use degenerate Dragooners here, so let's see if it goes any different this time. Big jump! Dual-wielding Dragoons decimate Garuda before he even gets a turn off. The king succumbs to his own knife wound, and Alice is immediately coronated. Then the civil war just kinda ends. I guess there was no underlying issues with Saronia besides the whole Grima Wormtongue thing going on. As usual, for helping out, I'm allowed to just take everything in the castle. Not that I'm complaining. The treasures include the Golem and Rune staves. Surely superior to my lowly elemental staves, but I think I'm dragooning it for the foreseeable future. A single battle has sold me on the fact that Quad Dragoon is clearly good in this game. During the ransacking of the castle, I found the Engineer Corps who gave me a new airship, the Nautilus. An airship that can actually land on the ground. Unfortunately, there's not really much else exciting in the peace-filled Saronia shop, so I laughed. Surely the Nautilus can go through the barriers in the north. Nope. Time for a world tour to figure out where the heck I need to go. Une's snoozing in her shrine. The ancient ruins are blocked off by a couple of rocks. Ain't nothing going on in Repleto. And I can't get over any high mountains. I'm heading down south to the Dog continent by the process of elimination. It's all that's left. Doga's manor. Oh no, not Moogles, the least intimidating guards you could ever hope to get. Finally, some real exposition about what is going on. Oh, thank God. Goldor's Earth Crystal was just a phony. Finally, I found out the big bad's name, Zonde, along with his plan and cool backstory. Zonde's starting this whole apocalypse thing because your mentor Noah gave him the gift of a mortal life. Hang on, Doga, what did you and this Une woman get? You got mastery over magic. Une got mastery over the Dream Realm, and Zonde got an expiration date. You guys can't at least see why he's mad about that? Like, not even a little bit? Master Magician / empathy devoid nerd Doga's joining up so we can get to the Cave of the Circle. Round Cave, as I like to call it. The weirdest part of all of this is that the Moogles are speaking English. It's been a while since this has happened, but it turns out the Round Cave is also small. Short round, if you will. I got a mini-op, which means all of the time, effort, and cold hard cash that I've invested in Dragoons is now pointless. I've got to live my life as a mini-mage for the foreseeable future. Thank God that I could hawk all of Goldor's gold swords to buy some new spells. Tier 3 is available now, and I've got some new elemental boosting rods to go along with them. The Rune and Golem saves are helping a ton with those infinite castings. Seriously, why even use black mages in this game? On demand, Endless, Break, and Blizzaga are only available to red and white mages. Does Black Mage really just suck in Final Fantasy III? Oh, look at that! During that yap sesh, I've arrived at the titular circle of the Cave of the Circle. Doga says exactly 3 words, and apparently my Nautilus can go underwater now. Did we really need to come all the way down here just to do that? I guess you just can't complain about the results. I can indeed go underwater now. Straight into the Temple of Time, where I got nearly instantly slaughtered by Chimera mages. Just imagine a battle with 3 Garudas all at once. I barely managed to get out of there alive. Jumping Dragooners seem like the solution to all of my problems, but the enemies here just feel too powerful. I'm heading out and resorting to a grind session. Kinda sucks not knowing about the optimum grinding locale since this is my first playthrough, but I'll just sit outside Saronia for a while. 4 main levels and a lot more job levels later, I restocked on high potions and headed back into the Temple of Time. I think more than anything, the job levels were the most significant part. I'm just dealing a ton more damage here. Oh nice, the Temple of Time is filled with more locked doors. Swap to Thief, open the door, then swap back to Dragoon. Maybe I should just keep a thief on retainer. Ha, crazy talk. It's 4 dragoons or bust. Oh my god, a dragon! Surely this will be my finest battle. 4 dragoons jumping obviously won, and then they immediately celebrated with a very lengthy loot solo. Hang on. Instruments in the Temple of Time? Did Nintendo rip off Final Fantasy III? The loot is what Doga told me to come here for, so now it's time to backtrack out and fly to Une's shrine. I ain't got no snooze button, so I'm playing until she wakes up, no matter how long it takes. Une's up and she hands over the Fang of Fire. Into the ancient ruins with Une and oh god. I've heard about this through osmosis too. Final Fantasy III's dividing enemies. I think running is in order. Cheese it. Granny's got some serious muscles on her. She's smashing the adamantite rocks like it's nothing. Thankfully, some of the enemies are not dividers down here. Hang on, why are there just a bunch of shops down here? Like, why would you pick this location to set up shop? But they sell blood lances? Are dragoons just really good in Final Fantasy III? Did it finally happen? Dodge and damage with jump, and when I do get hit, sucking it back with blood lances? I gotta get 8 of them. But I'm broke, so 1 blood lance per person's gonna have to do for now. Fully equipped up, I'm ready to suck off anything in my way. Only to immediately run into an undead enemy that reverses it? Ah! I screamed my way through the rest of the ancient ruins as black belts who could actually kill enemies without splitting them thanks to boost one-shotting them. Why would I ever even bother with dragoons? Through fisting and fleeing, I've reached the Invincible, which is huge. It's got everything you could ever want. Weapon, armor, magic, and item shops with a free rest site too. This thing's awesome. Most importantly of all is that it's got the ability to hop over high mountains, which is kinda cool. Except to get to the next area, you have to do an incredibly obnoxious sequence of jumps. Listen guys, 1 jump was all you needed. If you're gaining this area by invincible access, you just need to do the 1 hop, not 25 in a maze configuration. Eventually, I arrived at the Cave of Shadows. Pinky here's got a hot tip about enemies only dividing when attacked with normal swords. Let's try and decipher her mysterious riddle. Clearly she said that swords are causing divisions, but we know from experience that punching does too, so let's try magic, I guess? Oh, Pinky number 2, a little further in, is on death's door. Pinky 2 handed over a Katetsu container. Okay, that must be what Pinky 1 meant. Chronically overthinking things as usual, Wesley. But I was obviously correct anyways. Magic doesn't cause divides. I'm just fairly low on spellcast since I've been neglecting my magic jobs like crazy. But I'm no coward. Spelunking it is. Black mages are definitely more powerful magic casters than red mages, but the infinite cast staves are putting in a lot of work. Really should have just kept red maging it and bought more rune staves at Doga's place. I really need some new armor too, man. I'm taking a beating even in the back row. I somehow managed to get further into the depths and pick up the Kikyu Ichimonji before running out of casts on my mages. I swapped to a dual-wielding Dark Knight and suddenly my problems just evaporated. Blade Blitz didn't trigger divides and I can spam it infinitely. Clearly I was supposed to enter the Cave of Shadows with a full team of dual-wielding Dark Knights with containers from the Invincible. Live and learn, but maybe live isn't accurate. I'm still getting destroyed. It truly is kill or be killed down here in the Cave of Shadows. I'm under-equipped and under-leveled even at level 36. I'm getting smoked in like 3 hits. Alright, that's clearly the 4th and final elemental fang. And my spider sense is tingling. There's no way that grabbing that doesn't trigger a boss fight. Healed up, I'm going in. You'll never guess what happened. Hecaton Cheers constantly spamming Quake, so it's a good thing I've got double white mages on healing duty. Unfortunately, they didn't get a cast off in time to save Dark Knight number 2. I'm getting a little bit desperate here. I threw down a rare Bacchus Cider for an attack boost and I went to town. 1 single Phoenix down caused Dark Knight 2 to come up. I followed this up with timely Curaga spam to negate the Quakes. The party's back to doing what it does, smacking people around and healing itself. And when I don't need healing, spamming free staff spells. I eventually pulled through with a victory and collected the final fang. I mean, it's gotta be the last one, that's the 4 main elements. Hecaton Cheer wasn't exactly hard, but this whole dungeon has been a bit of a wake-up call. I couldn't teleport out of it fast enough. Which is followed up by slowly making my way back through the mountain range, 1 hop at a time. I've got the 4 elemental fangs, and there's only 1 place that I haven't been to yet. These fangs have to be used to smash the statues that killed me earlier. Turns out that's exactly what they were for, but I had to do it on foot for some reason. That really sucks, because then I gotta run back to the Invincible to hop over a mountain range. This is clearly the end of the game, right? There's a whole tower made out of crystals. But first, the Ancient's Maze. And whoa, the Earth Crystal's just right here. Hang on, didn't I just fight you a moment ago? Titan is a slightly beefed up Hecaton Cheer. He's still busy spamming Quake, but he's also got Flare? The game's really not pulling any punches anymore. I can survive one Flare, but not an immediate follow-up before my heal even comes out. I barely had enough damage and spellcast to survive this fight. I had to resort to lower tier spells and high potion chucking just to survive. Titan was a very long battle, but I managed to pull through. The Earth Crystal is finally here, so what are the new jobs? Magus, Devout, and Summoner. My White Mages are immediately upgrading to Devouts. Clearly, they're just better than White Mages, and let's see what happens in the Ancient Maze. Instantly wiped out by a King Behemoth spamming Meteor. Alright, I get it, game. I'm not ready for this just yet. But I just remembered Doga was talking about some nonsense, so I went back to his manor. Only to find that the giant Invincible can't get through the wind tunnel. I had to fly back to the Nautilus and use that airship instead. God, can you stop doing that, Doga? Just greet me like a normal person. Doga teleports me to a dungeon. I thought we were on the same team, you guys. I do need some EXP, so I guess it's fine. Blade Blitz and my staves continue to get a workout. Oh, hi Une, funny meeting you here. Whoa, what? The Eureka keys are made out of people? Despite me being absolutely no threat, Doga decides that this is a self-defense situation. Doga is the ultimate black mage, and also a horrible monster head too, apparently. Honestly, it's pretty unimpressive. A flare or two is no problem with my healing, and he's now nailing me with Blizzaga, which is basically not dealing any damage. My Dark Knights and Devouts took Doga down with ease. Titan and even Hecaton Cheer were harder. Oh, I was supposed to come here first, wasn't I? Une decides she wants some of the action too and attacks. She's evidently also a horrible monster, but more importantly, the ultimate white mage. Une's using buffs like Protect and hitting me with magic that's equally as threatening as Doga's. I'd argue it's actually more scary, but not scary enough to be a problem. She goes down just the same. I really hope it was worth throwing away our friendship for this, you two. I'm like an elephant, I'll never forget this betrayal. The two secret keys are mine. The Eureka key, along with the circus key? Those two clowns were definitely members of the circus, so this shouldn't surprise me at all. I teleported out. Then I bought some new spells and restocked on items in Doga's manor before setting off to the final dungeon. Except, nah, I'm clearly grossly underpowered, so I explored the rest of the world with my Invincible's rock hopper abilities. First up was Falgabard, the Dark Knight town, which has nothing new or exciting now, but it's clear you're supposed to come here before the Cave of Shadows to load up on containers. Whoops. Then I returned to the floating island. I remembered that there's a lake with a mysterious shadow that's clearly got some secrets. In the underwater cave, the enemies are easy to kill with 1 or 2 blade blitzes and yield some pretty good EXP. You'll love to see it. I fought my way to the bottom of the cave, collecting every single treasure chest, and found Leviathan? I completely ran him over with my standard Dark Knight physical attacks, along with staves, arrow, and the occasional cure spell. That was definitely an optional dungeon of all time, but the EXP in here is still pretty good. May as well tune up now with easy Blade Blitz grinding. I finished up at level 49. A quick 10 level grinding session seemed reasonable thanks to boosted EXP. But honestly, I feel like I should just leave the boosts on. I know how these NES games are. Back on the Invincible, I headed back to the Ancient's Maze. Wow, was the solution to all of my problems just grinding to a higher level? My party is now capable of killing enemies quickly and not getting slaughtered by meteors. Aeroga and dual container Blade Blitz relentlessly slaughters all resistance as I pick up all the chests. Many of which have Crystal Gear, the ultimate armor. Oh yeah, and Protect Rings! Status ailments are rapidly becoming a thing of the past. On the way out, I encountered a final King Behemoth. This is a grudge match that I won easily. Then I left the maze, and I've arrived at the base of the Crystal Tower. Just gotta stick this key in here and oh my god, the town can talk! The relentless plundering of treasures and slaughtering any and all random battles continues in the secret land of Eureka. These battles are easy to Blade Blitz through, and the more I clear, the more powerful I become. Right up until I'm tricked by a trapped chest. The ninja inside is effectively just a very strong basic enemy that required no change in strategy at all. Although, does swapping to basic attacks from Blade Blitz count as a swap in strategy? Oh baby, no wonder that was so heavily guarded. It's a ribbon. A lot of these chests also have a lot of shurikens around. Eureka clearly has a secret crystal with the ninja job, right? Must be just around the corner. A Moonring Blade is a ninja weapon. It was a pretty close guess. Oh no, it's Amon, who is clearly just Hine too. Until I see a barrier shift, I'm sticking with my strategy. Alright, there it was, but I'm not changing my strategy anyways. The White Mages, I mean Devouts, are back to healing duty, although the Golem Staff's break should be non-elemental, right? Amon's barrier shifting shunted my slicing damage right in half, but it's still doing damage. Dual chain casting basic cure is enough to maintain myself through most of Amon's attacks with my insanely beefy health bars. Grinding really was the only solution that I needed. Amon eventually falls and I get the legendary Moonring Blade. What fearsome mythical warrior is guarding this one? Oh, it's just a regular ninja lady. She's casting some pretty strong spells, but I've got Eureka in a pinch. Back to Break and Blizzaga for my staves, with the Dark Knights slice her up with those containers. The Mazamoon is mine, and I only now realize that Dark Knights can use boomerangs. Okay, well, Dark Knight number 1 just got a massive power spike. His Kikyu Ichimonji and Kotetsu are trickling down to Dark Knight 2 to give it a power spike as well. A new area means a new legendary weapon. The General guards the Excalibur. What are they gonna do next? Send the Mayor of Eureka at me? The General spams bio, but it doesn't even poison me, so he goes down easily. Definitely helps that I'm actually using the legendary weapons now. Unfortunately, Dark Knights can't use the Excalibur, so for the first time ever, I'm using a Knight. I'm dual-wielding the Excalibur and the Defender that I picked up somewhere along the way. It's pretty obvious that 2 white mages are kind of just overkill at this point. Sorry, devouts. It's really hard to tell the difference, okay? The final area yields a new sword, the Ragnarok, and all I have to do is defeat its guardian, the aptly named guardian. My single devout didn't even get to heal because by the time I tried, the guardian just kind of keeled over. Dark Knights can actually equip the Ragnarok, so all my weapons are getting shuffled down one slot. Looks like the final legendary weapon is a regular stick. Oh, I mean the Elder Staff. Scylla's getting sliced to ribbons with all of my newly sharpened swords. Once again, heals are optional apparently. Oh, it wasn't just a stick. I've also acquired Sage and Ninja, the ultimate magic and melee jobs. What's the Elder Rod, the ultimate staff, cast when used? It casts Cure? Basic Cure. Not even Eureka? Okay then. Clearly I should just swap everyone to the ultimate jobs, right? Ninjas are equip any. No excuses not to use the best gear in the game then. Well, the Forbidden Land of Eureka was a town after all. The greatest magic salesmen are here, hiding like cowards in the depths. That's a heck of a lot of good magic. I'm gonna take all of it. Wonder why this guy's so hidden. The best armor in the game, crystal armor for the whole gang? Don't mind if I do. It would definitely be smart to dump all of my remaining cash on shurikens, but I'd like to have a retirement fund for when this is all over. This trip down to Eureka was absolutely worth it. I've never felt more powerful. I fought my way out easily, and then I headed back to the Crystal Spire. Then I left to save, and returned inside immediately. There's no need to hold back. The ninjas are blending everything I come across with legendary weapons while the sages hold back. Listen, those sages might need those spellcasts later, okay? Every few battles I win is a new job level, along with a regular level. That just keeps pushing my power even further beyond its limits. I did determine that even under-equipped, I just need another ninja. I only need a dash of sage in my party. 2 is far too many. 3 ninjas kick back as I climb the Crystal Spire, blending all the battles and picking up all the chests along the way. Honestly, the Crystal Spire has been a pretty unimpressive final dungeon. Right up until I get into a battle with a green dragon on floor 6. The green dragon was very strong for a random battle, and he really had it out for Ninja 2. Too bad for him, my sages have a rise. The green dragons turned into mincemeat moments later. Oh baby, an onion sword? That's going on my ninja. Okay, so Ninja's whole equip any was definitely a lie. Ninjas just can't use the onion sword. I could swap to Onion Knight. Nah, that's for another time in the far future. I got into a battle with a red dragon as I plundered the last of the chests. This was pretty easy overall, although I did immediately resort to using a few curages. Then I just waltzed into the final room, which was filled with red dragons. One red dragon was fine. I don't know if I'm able to tackle all of these guys. Vanity has ruined my life. A peek into the mirror has sealed my fate. I'm paralyzed by Zonde, and I'm about to get devoured by all those dragons. Except the ghost of Doga is here to save me by bringing everyone I helped along the way. Just make sure you do it quickly. These are people such as Princess Sarah, Sid, Dash? He's looking a little extra crispy after 4 hours in that furnace. Ah, King Alice, of course. Surely Arya is next, right? Nope, those wannabe fellas are here to save the day. 4 of these guys got their clocks cleaned by level 1 goblins, but sure, one of you can take on a dragon solo. Through the power of people I quite frankly don't really feel comfortable calling friends, I'm free to fight the big bad, Zonde, finally. But my sages need to chug an elixir to restore spellcasts. Thank you for waiting. Now we can fight Zonde. I didn't even come into this battle fully healed. I'm on autopilot, so auto battle, do your thing. The blending begins. Man, all of these bosses really have it out for Ninja number 2. But he's recovered thanks to sagely Curagas. Yeah, I don't even need to use Curaja here. Even though Zonde is clearly the final boss, I might need those spellcasts later. All cast Eureka's keeping up with the damage. Kind of. 3 ninjas was definitely the right call. Zonde's mortal body was completely eviscerated. But he wasn't the final boss? It was Cloud of Darkness. Alright, take this. Miss. Alright then. Particle Beam? Oh, I'm sorry. I thought this was a world of magic and fantasy, not nuclear physics. The Warriors of Light are atomized. The journey's over. But through the power of acquaintances and Doga and Une sacrificing themselves again, I'm revived and forced to enter the world of darkness. Looks like this was a one-way ticket and I'm trapped here forever. Better make the best of it. I have chosen bottom left path first. Ooh, a chest. Zonde's clone? I literally just killed the real deal, so what's a clone gonna do? Suffer, just like Zonde did. All that work for a ribbon. I'll use it. I found the dark or inverse water crystal. It's guarded by Echidna. Hang on, are we really sure these are dark crystals and not the Chaos Emeralds? My strategy was cemented the second I got out of Eureka, and it's not gonna change for anything. My ninjas are spinning around causing a storm of steel. My sage is spamming Kiraja through Echidna's max tier magical spells like Meteor and Flare. These bosses have a health pool that I would call colossal. It's definitely taken a toll on all my spell casts, but I actually won pretty easily overall. New crystal, new job! You scared me! A Warrior of Darkness has appeared, and now he's gone. No new jobs from the crystal? What a ripoff! But a heal and magic restore is okay, I guess. I fought my way to the northwest quadrant, which, wouldn't you know it, had another chest with a Zonde clone. This had yet another ribbon in it. The Dark Wind Crystal. Here's some Dark Wind for you. For Cerberus, I finally tried dropping haste on my ninjas. Haste initially appeared to do nothing, but Ninja 2 really started to go hard with some crits. Cerberus definitely felt weaker than Echidna. He just had lesser magic without the threat of Meteor. Cerberus was blended to death with only minor healing required. Another Dark Knight pops out of the crystal and heads off into the void. My third, woefully under-equipped ninja is underperforming. I opted to swap him to a Sage so he could take advantage of the free crystal heal. The west side's done, I'm heading southeast for Zonde's clone number 3, which ends up being ribbon number 4 since I already picked one up in Eureka. The game wouldn't just, give you ribbons and then not use statuses anymore, right? Surely the Dark Earth Crystal's guardian Ahriman uses statuses. Nope, Ahriman's just spamming Meteor like Echidna did. I buffed up with haste on turn 1, and then the ninjas began blending. Top Sage is channeling black magic like Flare, and bottom Sage is spamming Kiraja every single turn. Ahriman died right after I ran out of spellcast for Flare and Kiraja. Convenient. 3 of 4 Dark Knights rescued, and I'm restored. One last crystal, the Dark Fire Crystal. I know this is a redundant ribbon, but I'm going for it anyways. All Zonde clones destroyed. The final Dark Crystal and its guardian is a 2-headed dragon, and all it does is hit you with colossal physical attacks. I'm not gonna lie to you, that's probably tougher to deal with than meteors coming my way, honestly. Especially considering he can basically kill someone on command. Never would have expected just strong physical attacks to be a winning strategy in this game. In retrospect, that's all I've really been doing, so why wouldn't it work for the enemy? My sages found the time to haste my ninjas and then spam Kiraga and Kiraja every turn, along with a very occasional Arise. I've beaten the double-headed dragon, and the 4th and final Dark Warrior will not surprise me this time as he bursts out of the crystal. Now, a rematch against blatant cheater Cloud of Darkness. I brought backup this time. Get 'em, Warriors of Darkness! They all sucked up her disgusting Backlog. Now I can safely and stink-free go in for the kill. This is it, the final battle. I'm throwing those shurikens using Ninja's throw command. Oh man, it damage capped? Definitely should have bought more shurikens while I was down in Eureka. The sages start off by double hasting my ninjas, and then Cloud of Darkness uses basic attack. Okay. Another 20,000 damage from shurikens, but I'm out of ammo. The sages throw out Flare and Holy for another 6,000 damage. Cloud of Darkness proceeds to use a significantly toned down particle beam. I think Echidna's Meteor was stronger. Ninjas are back to hasted blending. Sage 1's throwing flares, and Sage 2 is spamming Kiraja because it looks like it's particle beam every single turn from now on. Yeah, this is the final fight, I guess. Just a check to see if you can survive, and then heal through particle beam every turn while also dealing damage. Haste wore off, so I took a turn to reapply it, which was totally unnecessary because Cloud of Darkness died the very next round. I've defeated the Cloud of Darkness through a collaboration from the Warriors of Light and Warriors of Darkness. But nobody needs to know that! I can claim all of the glory for myself. It was all me, baby! Doga and Une are gone, so I'm forced to act as the designated driver to get all these acquaintances home. starting with those mainlanders, the fellas, and King Alice. Then it's back to the floating continent. I'm dropping Sid and Desh back at Canaan so they can smooch their honeys. Princess Sarah wants to keep hanging around with me, and we return home to Ur. We did it, Topapa. We really were the Final Fantasy IIIs all along. Wait a second. Where's Tomama? A very casual cruise through Final Fantasy III for the very first time was completed in 6 hours, 50 minutes, and 52 seconds. I feel like Final Fantasy II and III are the commonly accepted dark horses of the classic Final Fantasies. So I went into this with incredibly low expectations. I actually liked 3 a lot more than I expected to. It's a simple game, but it was a pretty fun casual romp, especially on the Pixel Remaster. Honestly, Final Fantasy III was pretty intuitive to get through despite being an NES game. A platform that was known for being ridiculously obtuse. Outside of like, you know, the key situation, and a few parts that took longer than they should have because I always seemed to go to the place I needed to go last after checking every other option out. That included those blind recluses in their cave hoarding that toad spell for one. I do actually really like the mini frog segments, I just think the implementation isn't the best. If you're grugging it physically like I am, most of the game you just have no spell slots open, so you're forced to return to town, swap jobs, then rest before coming back to get on with the dungeon. A minor annoyance that's completely understandable because, you know, this was originally an NES game. Final Fantasy III is actually quite a bit more intricate than the original Final Fantasy though. It really is impressive how far games progress even locked to the same system. Outside of a few puzzle bosses like Hine and Garuda, most bosses end up being just stat checks. Win by virtue of big number. Not that that's a big problem. The job system kind of lets you play how you want. You should be able to make whatever you want work, although clearly the game wants you to use at least one white mage, then a devout, followed by a sage at all times. Most of the bosses end up just throwing strong AoE damage at your party nearly every turn. That's a mechanic that's easily countered by spamming the cure spell every single turn. Story-wise, it's a generic save the world plot. I think that's totally fine, it didn't really need to be anything more than that. 3 does give you a lot more to bite onto instead of 1's incredibly bare-bones plot though, and I appreciate that. I'm just gonna go out and say it. Xande had every right to be upset, alright? Doga and Une got some cool powers, and Xande gets the most valuable gift of all, immortal life. Easy to say from you immortals. If I had eternal life, I could actually bust my entire backlog. Just imagine playing something other than Final Fantasy V, Wes. What I'm getting at is that Xande's anger is totally justified. Villains whose motivation is stronger than the heroes, for real. It's always interesting to go back and play these old games. You really can see the groundwork laid for the future Final Fantasies. The floating island versus mainland in 3 is clearly laying the foundations for the overworld, underworld, and moon in Final Fantasy IV. Then Bart's world, Gloof's world, and the merged world in Final Fantasy V. Along with, of course, its expansion of the job system. Playing the Pixel Remaster was probably a good call for a casual playthrough. I spared myself a lot of time grinding, but who knows? Maybe the NES version is worth a look through. I think it's interesting to see the origins of the series, especially with Final Fantasy I on the NES. But firing up the NES 2 and 3 eventually is something I should probably experience for myself. Should probably experience 2 in its entirety at some point. Usually I just take 2 steps, get killed by an ogre, and turn it off. Don't have a whole lot else to say. I enjoyed Final Fantasy III casually. As for my opinion on future single job challenges, well, I made an entire video on that one. You can check it out on the channel. But before you do that, why don't you like and subscribe? And if you want more content, you can check out the Patreon or become a channel member here on YouTube. There's a new exclusive video every month. This month's going to be a bit delayed, but it's going to be the Final Fantasy III Pixel Remaster Platinum. Coming soon to Premium Buster. Thanks for watching Backlog Buster with a secondary, but equally as important bonus thank you to my blessed Buster boys. I'll see you all again soon.